Okay, so we saw the very basics of using Faker, really just a single line. You know it's a thing and that it's a package. Now, our game plan from here on out is to use Faker to generate our data for us, get 500 users in there. But Faker on its own won't do that. So we'll use this faker.internet.email. We want one of those, or we want 500 of those actually, and we'll use the date.past. And the reason we need to use date.past is that when a user is created, yes, in the real world, we want to store the current time when they actually signed up. But when we're inserting 500 fake users, we don't want them all to have the exact same time that they're joining, because then that throws off our data, right? Having 500 users who joined at the same exact instant. So we'd much rather spread them out so that we could try certain things with the data, play around with it. So we're going to generate dates using this. So then the next logical question is, okay, we know how to generate a single email and a single date. How do we do 500 of them? And more importantly, how the heck do we get them in a MySQL database? So warning, up here, red letters, this is not really code that will work. Well, it's not code that will work at all. But I just wanted to show you. We would want to do something like this, right? Insert into users, email, and created at, and the values, we want a faker.internet.email and faker.date.past. This is sort of a hybrid between MySQL and Node. Unfortunately, this doesn't work, but this is what we're going for, right? We want to do something like this. Insert 500 of these where we get a fake email and a fake date. The problem is, insert into users, this syntax only exists in MySQL, and Faker only exists in Node. So how do we bridge that connection? Oh, and we want to do that 500 times, right? The answer is that we use something called MySQL, and it's confusing because it's a Node package. Like Faker, it's another package called MySQL. What it does is it connects to MySQL, the actual database, and it talks to it. So every language, there are a couple different packages. PHP has a way of talking to MySQL. Ruby has a couple ways. They are kind of adapters. Think of it as a connector between the two, a tube or a pipeline. And there's a couple for Node, but the one we're using is the most popular. It's called MySQL, which personally I find kind of confusing. I wish it was called, MySQL Node or MySQL Connector or MySQL JS or something. And here's a couple diagrams of basically how it works. So we have Node on its own. This is where we've been working. And then we have MySQL on its own, our separate database. So this has our data stored in it. And the MySQL package will be able to say things like, hey, MySQL database, how many users are in there? Ask it to the database, and then the MySQL database will be able to say, well, looks like there are currently 518 users. Send that back to Node, and we can use it. Or it might be something like this. Hey there, MySQL database, how many users are in there? And MySQL might say, users, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't have a users table in here. In which case, we would get that back to Node.js, and we'd be able to know that because of the package we're using, the MySQL package, is both asking the questions, right? It's querying the database, and it's handling the replies. So then in here, we can write logic that says, okay, if we don't get a response, if there's an error message, let's do one thing. Otherwise, do something else. Or a third scenario. Hey there, MySQL. Our adapter, our MySQL connector, might ask how many users are in your database. And there's no database. We don't get a response. Well, we need to figure out how to handle that in Node. And fortunately, the MySQL package handles that. So it will, start by freaking out. Are you there? What's going on? A bunch of sad faces. But then it will figure it out. It will basically time out, and it will figure out there's no connection. There's no database there. And we'll be able to handle that as well, which is something that could happen. Your database server could go down. Something could go wrong. So these are different scenarios. Mainly we're working with this one, right, where there's good communication and everything's working how it should. But the key thing is that the package, MySQL package, works in Node, talks to a database. So without further ado, let's see how that works.